There you are. Welcome back. Welcome back, Kingdom Builders, Road Trippers, Akeem and Akatim, my brothers and my sisters, mothers, fathers, aunties and uncles, grandmas and grandpas, everybody in the house. Shalom, in-laws. Shalom and shalom. Peace, right? Shalom. Peace and blessings to you, your homes, your dwelling places, like where you stay at. That's right. Peace and blessings to your children, of course, your friends, your loved ones, and your pets, the little fur babies. We're blessed to be back here. We're blessed to be back. Baruch Hashem. All praises to the Most High, Abba, Yahawah, right? Glory to YAHAWASHI. Honors to the Ruach. My love and my respect goes out to you. And I beseech that you've been having a good beginning of the week, right? As we're cleaning up and finishing up this third day, I beseech that everyone's been motivated, edified this week, getting closer and closer to one another, right? Not just about, understanding more about our history and our future, but understanding the bond of this covenant that we share with one another. And as he's bringing us into the bond of the covenant, right? Start to feel it. You're starting to see brothers and sisters out here saying, I love you to each other a lot more. You're starting to see it. You're starting to feel it. Right? Is that not bonding? Is that not part of the bond? The togetherness? Now, there's still some work to do, right? You're not seeing the two sticks become one yet, right? It's not the appointed time. But you're starting to see the plot. You're seeing it warm up for it, right? Starting to see where it's going at. So when that stick becomes one, you see how much love is going to be there for the nation and for the friends of the nation. This goes out to you too, friends of the family. Just because you're not one of us doesn't mean that you can't love and cleave to the family. All right? That's what you're called to do. That's obedience. All right? It's the only option, really. It's the best option. And it's full of love received and love given if it's done properly. You understand? All praises to the Most High. So, what are we doing? That's my little spiel right there. Let's continue. So, what are we doing? What are we up to this evening? Well, last night we read chapter 5, and so we're gonna read chapter 6 of what? Right? We're back in the works of Flavius Josephus. This is the Antiquities of the Yahudim, or air quotes, Jewish Antiquities. Book number 5 of the Antiquities. This is chapter 6, how the Midianites and other nations fought against the Israelites, right? Yasharallah, and beat them and afflicted their country for 7 years. How they were delivered by Gideon, who ruled over the multitude for 40 years. Yep. We did say we were going to talk about Gideon a little bit. So we're going to read this, and there are 7 sections here. 7 sections inside of this chapter. And let's see. There are no notes, so it should be pretty much straight through. If there's something of point that the Most High or the Ruach needs to bring out, we'll stop and pause and say something. But in the meantime, if you have these scrolls available to you, I highly encourage you to read, which pull them out, pull the scrolls out, get them on your lap. Let's get ready. All right. Whether you have the hard copy or if you're scrolling online. And I know that these are available online. My brother Julian Zakaria, he showed me that. So, all right. Matter of fact, if you want to reach out to him, I'm sure that he can provide this entire volume of the Antiquities and also the works of Flavius Josephus. So you can have something tangible as we're reading along. I'm going to see if he can post something like that in the chat. I'm going to see if he can do that for me. All right? But in the meantime, hey, no further ado, ladies and gentlemen, and fellas in the back, okay? I got you, man. Let's go ahead and start reading. This is going to be chapter 6, section 1. Let's begin. Let's go. Section 1, and it reads, Now when Barak and Deborah were dead, whose deaths happened about the same time afterwards, the Midianites called the Amalekites and Arabians to their assistance, and made war against the Israelites, and were too hard for those that fought against them. And when they had burned the fruits of the earth, they carried off the spoils. Now when they had done this for 3 years, the multitude of the Israelites retired to the mountains, and forsook the plain country. They also made themselves hollows underground, and caverns, and preserved therein whatever had escaped their enemies. For the Midianites had expeditions in harvest time, but permitted them to plow the land in winter, that so, when the others had taken the pains, they might have fruits for them to carry away. Indeed, there ensued a famine, and a scarcity of food, upon which they gave to the supplications of the Most High Yahawah, and begged him to save them. That's the end of section number 1. See, this pattern, right? Sin, get punished. Supplicate, get saved. Sin, get punished. Supplicate, get saved. Right? We gotta get out of this. Let's go ahead and get section 2. Section 2 reads, Gideon also, the son of Jehoash, one of the principal persons of the tribe of Manasseh, brought his sheaves of grain privately and threshed them at the winepress, for he was too fearful of their enemies to thresh them openly in the threshing floor. At this time, something appeared to him in the shape of a young man, and told him that he was a happy man and beloved of the Most High Yahawah. To which he immediately replied, A mighty indication of the Most High's favor to me, that I am forced to use this winepress instead of a threshing floor. Salakaya. But the apparition exhorted him to be of good courage, and to make an attempt for the recovery of their liberty. He answered that it was impossible for him to recover it, because the tribe to which he belonged was by no means numerous, and because he was but young himself, and too unimportant to think of such great actions. But the other promised him that the Most High Yahawah would supply what he was defective in, and would afford the Israelites victory under his conduct. Okay? Do you see the plot? That's the end of section 2, by the way. You see the plot? Now, anyone who's green to this, who doesn't really know who Gideon is and what we're setting up for, he's already telling you, right? He's from a tribe that doesn't have large countenance of men. They don't have a lot of warriors. They're not like Judah, right? They're not like Simeon, right? They don't fight like that, all right? All right? They're not Reubenites, right? So, anyway, what he's saying is that in this movie that they made, 83 made a movie called 300. And in this movie, they depict some Greeks who are under the leadership of a King Leonidas. Okay, if you're not familiar. He leads a group of 300 men against armies of hundreds of thousands of foes, and is successful. Ultimately, they die in the end, but really, there's a parallel taken from that, because there was no Leonidas who led a group of 300 men that were valiant Greeks. That never existed. That's a lie. But what did happen was there was a group of 300 Israelites who were led by a strong Israelite captain general named Gideon. That did happen, right? So there's your parallel right there. But, they're not going to put that on the big screen. Anyway, let's continue, though. And let's read what happened with Gideon. Let's go to section 3. All praises to the Most High. Section 3 about Gideon, what? And it reads, Now therefore, as Gideon was relating this to some young men, they believed him, and immediately there was an army of 10,000 men got ready for fighting. But the Most High Yahawah stood by Gideon in his sleep, and told him that mankind were too fond of themselves, and were enemies to such as excelled in virtue. Now, they might not pass the Most High over, but ascribe that victory to him, and might not fancy it obtained by their own power, because they were a great many, and able of themselves to fight their enemies. Right? You put 10,000 Israelites together, there's not many people who are going to be able to beat that. Doesn't matter how many. Remember, it says 1 can make 1,000 flee, 2 can make 10,000. They weren't playing. When you read these scriptures and talk about brothers jumping on walls, bro, climbing up walls. All right, let's continue. But might confess that it was owing to his assistance, talking about the Most High. He advised him to bring his army about noon in the violence of the heat to the river. This is a testing, a sifting process. Pay attention. And to esteem those that bent down on their knees and so drank, to be men of courage. But for all those that drank tumultuously, put their face to the water, right? That he should esteem them to do it out of fear and as in dread of their enemies. And when Gideon had done as the Most High Yahawah had suggested to him, there were found 300 men that took water with their hands tumultuously. So the Most High Yahawah directed him to take these men and attack the enemy. Accordingly, they pitched up their camp at the river Jordan, as ready the next day to pass over it. So he sent back all those men. He had a whole army of 10,000 troops. That's the end of section 3, by the way. He had 10,000 troops and took 300. Because that's what the Most High's plan was. Right? If you go to war with this 10,000, then when men are telling tales and singing songs over dinner and wine, who are they really going to give the credit to? Are they going to give it to their their greatness in that battle? Their exploits, right? How they slayed how many men that day? Or if you take 300 knowing that the odds are impossible, then you know that it was nothing but the Most High Yahawah who did this. All praises to the Most High. I like that better. Let's continue. Let's continue, Mishpachah. Section 4 reads, But Gideon was in great fear, for the Most High Yahawah had told him beforehand that he should set upon his enemies in the nighttime. But the Most High, being willing to free him from his fear, directed him to take one of his soldiers and go near to the Midianites' tents, so that he should from that very place have his courage raised and grow bold. So he obeyed, and went and took his servant Phurah, with him. And as he came near to one of the tents, he discovered that those that were in it were awake, and that one of them was telling to his fellow soldier a dream of his own, and that so plainly that Gideon could hear him. The dream was this, pay attention. He thought he saw a barley cake, such as one as could hardly be eaten by men. Right? The whole roll, boy, eat that cake, boy. It was so vile, rolling through the camp and overthrowing the royal tent and the tents of all the soldiers. Now the other soldier explained this vision to mean the destruction of the army, and told him what his reason was, which made him so conjecture that the seed called barley was all of it allowed to be of the vilest sort of seed, and that the Israelites were known to be the vilest of all the people of Asia, like the seed of barley. They say vile, but you know what I mean. And that what seemed to look big among the Israelites was this Gideon and the army that was with him. And since you say you did see the cake overturning our tents, I am afraid lest the Most High has granted the victory over us to Gideon. Well, they know what's going on, boy. They already know what's going on. They're already hip to it, man. They about to eat that roll. They about to eat that cake roll, boy. That barley roll, boy. No honey, naga. You know what I'm saying? That's the end of section 4. Let's get 5. All right. Yeah, that's right, man. All right. All praises, Selah. Section 5, and it reads, When Gideon had heard this dream, good hope and courage came upon him, and he commanded his soldiers to arm themselves and told them of this vision of their enemies. They also took courage at what was told them and were ready to perform what he should ask them. Now, he was ready to go. So Gideon divided his army into 3 parts and brought it out about the 4th watch of the night, each part containing 100 men. They all bore empty pitchers and lighted lamps in their hands, that their onset might not be discovered by their enemies. They had also each of them a ram's horn in his oath, which he used instead of a trumpet. The enemy's camp took up a large space of ground, For it happened that they had a great many camels, and as they were divided into different nations, so they were all contained in one circle. Now when the Hebrews did as they were ordered beforehand upon the approach to their enemies, and on the signal given, sounded with the ram's horn, and broke the pitchers, and set upon the enemies with their lamps, and a great shout, and cried, Victory to Gideon by the Most High Yahawah's assistance. A disorder and a fright seized upon the other men while they were half asleep, for it was a nightmare, as the Most High Yahawah would have it. So they were kind of just dazed. They weren't really fully conscious to what was happening. So that a few of them were killed by their enemies, but the greatest part by their own soldiers on account of the diversity of their language. And when they were once put into disorder, they killed all that they met with, as thinking them to be enemies also. He put them into a disillusion. You see, let's continue. Thus, there was a great slaughter made. And as the report of Gideon's victory came to the Israelites, they took their weapons and pursued their enemies and overtook them in a certain valley encompassed with torrents, a place which these could not get over. So they encompassed them and killed them all with their kings, Oreb and Zeb. But the remaining captains led those soldiers that were left, which were about 18,000, and pitched their camp a great way from the Israelites, right? YAHAWAH. However, Gideon did not take note of his weariness, but pursued them with all his army, and joining battle with them, cut off the whole enemy's army, and took the other leaders, Zeba and Zalmunna, and made them captives. Now, there were killed in this battle of the Midianites and of their reinforcements, the Arabians, about 120,000 with 300 nagas. You understand me? And the Hebrews took great spoils, gold and silver and garments and camels and asses. And when Gideon was come to his own country of Beth Ophrah, he killed the kings of the Midianites, man. Right? Took their toes and their fingers. Naga. That's the end of 5 right there. Let's read some more of this, man. Gideon went hard. If you didn't know, now you know. That's right, man. That's right, boy. Section 6. However, the tribe of Ephraim was so displeased at the good success of Gideon that they resolved to make war against him, accusing him because he did not tell them of his expedition against their enemies. Look, greed, man, pride. But Gideon, as a man of temper and that excelled in every virtue, pleaded that it was not the result of his own authority or reasoning that made him attack the enemy without them, but that it was the command of the Most High Yahawah, and still the victory belonged to them as well as those in the army. And by this method of cooling their passions, he brought more advantage to the Hebrews than by the success he had against his enemies, for he thereby delivered them from a rebellion, which was arising among them. Yet did this tribe afterwards suffer the punishment of their injurious treatment of Gideon, of which we will give an account in due time. So stay tuned for that. We're going to read section 7, and then yes, we're going to part ways for now. All right. I love you, and we'll read again tomorrow. But let's go ahead and get 7 real quick. Let's get it, man. All right. All right, man. 7 to heaven. And it reads, But Gideon would have laid down the government, but was persuaded to take it, which he enjoyed 40 years, and distributed justice to them, as the people came to him in their differences. And what he determined was esteemed valid by all. And when he died, he was buried in his own country of Beth Ophrah. And that's the end of chapter 6. We're going to read next time on chapter 7, that the judges who succeeded Gideon made war with the adjoining nations for a long time. That's 7. All right. So you get to hear about the 300 this time. Next time we're going to hear about the nations after Gideon. All right. That's right. All praises to the Most High. Selah. Thank you for being here, man. Let's get this. Thank you. So yeah, right now we're just doing a chapter a day. You know, it's been real hot at work. You know what I mean? So I'll be coming home kind of tired. I want to fellowship with a lot of my brothers, man. You know, a lot of my righteous Akim that I be talking to on these platforms. So yeah, you know, I think one chapter is fitting. So thank you, Kingdom Builders, for being here on this road trip. You know, road trippers, Akim and Akatim. I love each and every single one of you. You better believe that. You know. Please be safe out here as you're traveling. It's very road trip appropriate as you're traveling up and down the roads to and fro, especially if you're carrying those kitties. Have patience at work these days. Learn how to smile and laugh a lot of things off. Right? Jacob's trouble is over with. It's done. You know? And there's so many more things to be excited and overjoyous for, that if you're still going through some kind of a rocky spot in your current situation, hey, count it all joy. Count it all joy. You got a chance to live the human experience multiple times. You just don't remember the other ones. Right? Count it all joy. It's almost all over with. And those who endure to the end, the same shall be saved. So I love you all. Yahawah willing, I'll be, getting back with y'all tomorrow on chapter 7. All right. All praise to the Most High. Selah. And Shalom, man. Shalom. See you all soon. Yeah.